being quite honest, the fact that I was able to get these in hand is just amazing. So I went to a Ross out of town, you know, the place where all the savage moms go and do their shopping. I went to the toy aisle, and there was these guys. The 2-pack usually goes for $50, and I got them for $23. So of course we're gonna start with the one everyone cares about, that being the new G1, you know, inspired Lamborghini Gallardo alternate mode. Now, as you can see here, it's pretty nice. I gotta say, it is really nice. You can really see all of the new molded pieces that they made specifically for this. This is pretty much a remold, even though it's pretty much the same thing as the Siege Sideswipe. They really just, every piece here is pretty much new. The little back piece here, this part wasn't raised, and also it's painted. It's the red paint that they used for the hood is ever so slightly different than the red molded plastic, and there's a little paint chip right there. Be careful about that. The white paint is really resistant, I gotta say that much, but the red paint back here, as you can see, there's already a chip. I barely had this for about a week. But you know, I'm the type of guy that likes to play with his toys, so, you know, it was probably my fault. Other than that, here we have the new hood piece. Why is there a scratch there? I'm gonna have to fix that later. Anyway, new hood piece. It's much more, you know, squared off to make it look more like a Lamborghini Gallardo. So there's also these new pieces here on the side. The back is just completely new as well. They really went above and beyond. Even there's even new shoulder pieces to accommodate the new Lamborghini Gallardo alternate mode, which I think is pretty cool. Now, of course, he does come with some accessories here. We have two of which I am not very fond of, that being the rocket launcher and the rocket itself. Now, as you can see here, it's molded in black plastic, but it was painted with white plastic. The white paint seeped through into the black plastic. Same thing over here. This is a completely new piece actually. Usually it would have a handle down here, but they just molded it in red plastic and, you know, painted it white, which is just dumb. They could have just kept the original colors. The original Sideswipe had them and it didn't look bad, so I don't see a reason as to why they should have done this to begin with. And we also have the classic Red Alert blaster that came with almost every retool of this guy. So yeah, you got that too, which, you know, I really like. Again, it's also molded in black plastic and painted over with white, which, as you can see inside of the holes, the white bled through. But you know, I actually like it here because it adds some level of detail, at least from my point of view. This thing sucks, but this is cool. And as you can see, it's kind of pinkish. Not complaining, not complaining. I'm a grateful Transformers fan. Yeah. So let's get into transformation real quick because it's a pretty fun ordeal. It's pretty much the same thing as Siege Sideswipe, but you know, in my opinion, Siege Sideswipe has a really fun transformation that, you know, I just do it over and over again. So you fold out the arms, you fold up this part, you fold up the crotch piece, you bend the legs, that pushes out the feet, you pull them out, you close that up, you pull that apart, you turn this around, you push this inside, and now you put this in the inside, and there you go. You got yourselves a more G1 accurate Sideswipe. I love it. Uh-huh. Now, of course, I won't get into posability since it's pretty much, you know, the classic War for Cybertron trilogy posability. You got your ankle pivots, knee bends, weird thigh swivels, and, you know, your waist swivel. There you go. That's all you need to know. No wrist swivel, sadly, but, you know, that's good. So I'd like to take a look at some of the details first. Like, for example, I mean, it's the same head sculpt as Siege Sideswipe, but also the faceplate is painted in a slightly lighter shade of gray, metallic gray as well. And also this little piece in there is painted too, which I really like. The eyes are also a darker blue compared to the Siege Sideswipe's lighter blue. Cool. This part is painted in white. Thankfully, it didn't bleed through. This whole thing is black plastic, by the way, so it would have been really sad if it did. Of course, the thighs and the arms are molded in white plastic. And, you know, Hasbro has been having some trouble with, you know, yellowing and stuff. It hasn't happened yet, but, you know, sun never goes into my room. Yeah. And, of course, we have the white painted feet that were molded in black plastic. Of course, it bled through at the bottom, but let's be honest, are you going to be posing him like this? No. So, be quiet. So, yeah, you know, I guess I should give a final verdict here, since it's a good figure. I love it. Of course, it's much more G1 accurate, which, you know, you can never really go through too far with G1 accuracy, unless it's, well, Legacy Blitzwing. Everyone is complaining about the eggplant in the room. Continuing on. So, final verdict. 8 Cyber Planet keys out of 10. Yep, so overall he's a pretty cool figure, you know. What I've seen people do is that they keep with like the 2-packs that were released as like Battle Through Time series, both of those 2-packs that was like Mirage and Maximal Grimlock, and you know, here Sideswipe and Maximal Skywarp, was that they would usually sell the Maximal and keep the Earth mode Transformer. Which, you know, it makes sense. You want to keep the ones you like and get rid of the ones that you're really not going to want to keep around, since, you know, they are just going to be a waste of space. Plus, you don't really care for the character. Plus, on top of that, you already have a version of the mold. And it's even worse if the mold is pretty mid. Speaking of mid, let's talk about the bird in the room for a second. The Air Razor mold, in my opinion, is kinda mid. The transformation is literally just the guy squatting down. Now, of course, that doesn't mean he's all bad, you know. I really like the head sculpt here. It's, you know, accurate to the Beast Wars 2nd anime, which is where he's from. The original toy actually looked a little derpy in my opinion. I really like the faceplate too. Let me just get some light in here. There you go. Of course, also looks very accurate in silver paint. Very nice, very nice. The eagle head itself that's at the top, you can see like actual detail that looks like the mouth is closed. And you know, that's pretty cool in my opinion. He, of course, also comes with these, which are pretty much just the Air Razor blasters, but you know, they're casted in white. So there you go. Yeah. They aren't painted, which I'm thankful for. Also, speaking of white molded plastic, so are the arms. There you can see the Maximal symbol right there. And so are these legs. I really like the paint that they went for here for the talons, you know. He's got that gold type of paint, similar to the blasters that came with Air Razor, you know. Alright, so I also wanted to talk about the wings for a second and how weird they are, because you see, right here we have, count them, 1, 2, and then there's a third shade of brown at the bottom. I understand this one because, you know, it's there for detail and stuff, as well as the tips over here for the wings. But why 2 shades of brown for the wing itself? That part doesn't, you know, sit well with me. Also, you know, that's pretty much it. The white paint here, it isn't as durable. As you can see, there's already a chip down there. That's probably my fault as always. But, you know, overall, this guy ain't that bad. Of course, he's got like ball joints on his feet. They can move up and down. But, you know, the side to side isn't that good. It could be better. you get a thigh swivel, a knee bend, of course. It actually goes over 90 degrees, and you also get this joint because of the transformation. Very nice. You know, your bicep swivel out 360 degrees. The shoulder pads move on their own too, so you can really get a good range of stuff here, along with the waist swivel that doesn't get obstructed by the back piece. That right there is good. I'll give it that much. The rest though, and by the rest I mean the transformation, okay? That is pretty much my only complaint here. So, you know, talking about the transformation, let's get into that, you know. So, of course, you want to take off the little, whatchamacallums blasters here, pull out the arms, flip them around. Okay, there you go. Open this part up. Then you can just, like, untab this whole section, move it up, all the way up. Backbreaker levels of up. Then, you know, spin this around, and then this whole thing is just gonna peg into those holes right here. There's also a hole right there, and that's that for that. Then you want to fold these pieces of the arms in, then over here, and same thing on the other side. All right, so there you go, same thing on the other side. And now for the legs, you want to open this back piece, spin this around. All right, spin these parts around too. Okay, make sure to be very careful with the joints, because like on my copy, for some reason everything is really tight. Yeah, you don't want to break anything. This is like a $20, like a, no, not even 20, like a $50 figure if you want to get another one. Even then on eBay it's gonna go for like $30 or something crazy. All right, so now push these up. There's that peg that's gonna peg into that part of the leg, and you should be good to go. Line everything up. Oh, I accidentally moved that. Okay, there you go. Just line everything up. Make sure everything is folded in the correct way. Grab this, you know, plug those in there. There you go. Grab that, plug that in here. And, you know, here we have Skywarp transformed into his eagle mode. Now, I personally can see why they just made it squat down. You know, I've seen pictures of how eagles and falcons sit. This is pretty accurate. You know, they just kind of sit. Now that I see it like this, I really think the transformation works a lot better now that I think about it. See, my opinion changed while I was recording this video. So, quite honestly, I still think the transformation is dumb. But also, quite honestly, it's pretty much the most clever thing they could have done with what they were given. But, you know, when Masterpiece Air Razor comes out, I bet you they're going to find a way to make it so that this whole squatting down situation is completely fixed. And it's just going to blow my mind, quite honestly. Now, here, it also has a bit of the same posability. And over here, we had this huge ball joint here. Here we have a swivel. And this swivel that lets him move up and down. You can also open the bird's face. Wings. So speaking of which, there's a hinge joint right here for the wings. Another one right here, and then another one right here, and then another one right here. And then this whole thing is on a mushroom peg, so you know you have the wings that can move in and out. So of course, you know, the extreme posability of the wings allows you to put them in a lot of birdie poses, you could say. Overall, pretty good. And the final verdict is 7 cyber keys out of 10. Now, the robot mode, that's really good. I'll give it that much. Because, okay, so as you can see, I put on the Air Razor blasters too, because I realized that it would really go well with the color scheme. And it does. The head sculpt is really nice. The proportions are, you know, good. But at the end of the day, it's the Air Razor mold. With the new outlook on the Beast mode, it doesn't look half bad, but it is still just a human squatting down. So I still have to deduct points for that. I mean, for creativeness, I'll give it a point for that one too, because, you know, that's really the best they could have done. Like, actually. And, you know, final verdict is 7 out of 10. Now, we've already rated them separately, but now, of course, at the end of the day, they were sold together, right? So you have to rate them as a team. And in my opinion, I'll give this 2-pack a 9 out of 10. Now, here's why. Of course, Kingdom Sideswipe is really carrying here, since I really have no connection to Beast Wars Skywarp. But I know there's people out there that do, and like the character. So, you know, it has points for that. Also, the robot mode is really well made for, you know, the Maximal Skywarp as well as for Sideswipe. And I can't really deduct points for the Eagle mode since it was the best thing they could have done. So I'm going to keep it at a nice 9 out of 10.